You know this, when you're writing a book, the lawyers, Kamala's book was published by Simon & Schuster. Lawyers are going to question certain things, and they're going to say, you can't say that. You can't say this. You can't say that, right? I mean, that's what they go through. And they say, you may want to change that name. If you do, you have to, hold us harmless, that if they do sue you, it's not us. There is nothing in there that confirms that this was the closest race of all time. And she's going around on tour, saying, Rachel Maddow, The View, everybody. Can Trump and the family just dispute that and say, show us proof based on what stat that this was the closest race of all time?
Yeah, she's not going to. I mean, she goes out and says it, and she doesn't back it up. But isn't that like the whole Democratic playbook? Say whatever the hell you want. Don't back it up by any facts. And just allow the mainstream media to run with it over and over and over until people start believing it. Like, Patrick, like that's their entire playbook as a party, right? That's what they did time and time again. The good news is my father actually got his freedom of speech back because of Elon Musk and X. And he's able to go blast it to hundreds of millions of people around the world, subverting NBC and ABC, people who wouldn't otherwise cover that nonsense, and putting it in the phones of every single person out there that it wasn't a close race and that, it was actually probably one of the greatest landslides ever.
Yeah, but I'm asking a question because one of the best tweets, I don't know who put it, DeSouza Gill, I don't know what her first name is, but DeSouza Gill tweets it, saying YouTube had to pay your father $25 million, ABC, CBS, 60 Minutes, Stephanopoulos, all the stuff that had to happen, right? It's a way of saying you were wrong, we were right. Goes back to this ad, right? Trump was right about everything. By the way, thank you for this. What would it be like if you guys actually forced her to show data? Because in what area can she go say something like that?
Yeah, you got to realize for a 4-year period of time, there's no channels that would allow that. Right? I mean, it's such a big part of my book. They took away our ability to speak. You know how many gag orders we all had on us, imposed by courts to not talk? And then all of a sudden, you're taken off of Facebook, and you're taken off of Instagram, and you're taken off of Twitter. And then you have a mainstream media that is 98% negative. That their coverage has been 98% negative, and yet we somehow still got out the message. So, yeah, I mean, if you had the channels... If we had the channels the Democrats had, a Republican would never be beaten ever because we're right on all these issues. The problem is traditionally they had all the channels until people stopped liking the mainstream media and started loving you and loving Joe Rogan and loving all of our voices. And we finally had a little bit of freedom back because of Truth Social before, obviously, Elon bought X. And then, obviously, we got X back. And then, honestly, they became irrelevant.
Yeah, your dad literally started this whole, and if you see right there, that's the one he's talking about. 25 million YouTube, 25 million Facebook, 10 million Twitter, 15 million ABC, 60 Minutes, 60. That's almost $90 million. It was, and I know you remember this, Eric, when your dad, Jim Acosta, who's in a basement now talking to a microphone, he doesn't have a job for CNN. He's yapping and yapping. Your dad was 1 week, not even 1 weekend, and your dad goes, "I'm not going to give you a question. You're fake news." That moment broke, like, people at home went, wait, they're lying? Like, it malfunctioned people's brains. And your dad, that moment of your fake news started the whole thing. And now look where we're at.
Think about 60 Minutes. They literally edited a bunch of questions to try and make her sound coherent because she couldn't get out a reasonable answer. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, that's why he sued them, and they paid a fortune. They gave it to, I think they gave it to the library or something along those lines. I forget at this point, but I mean, think about a network going in there, and especially 60 Minutes, and splicing. This is the same network that said that there was no proof that the FBI spied on the campaign, and then sure enough, a year later, it comes out that the FBI spied on the campaign. I mean, they are the PR arm for the Democratic Party. That's what the mainstream media always was. I mean, are you going to roll this clip? It's like phenomenal stuff.
Go ahead, Rob.
This is Ed Bradley, I believe.
Watch
But
this.
it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need.
It wasn't even close.
God, did we
Dude, that
dodge a
wasn't even
bullet?
close.
Does anybody realize why they settled now and they settled in a disastrous fashion? I mean, and by the way, had they not, DJT would have had like a field day with this for the rest of eternity. I mean, do you remember her economic speech where she goes up there and she goes, you know, I'm going to put a stop to, you're going to love this because you're a math guy like me. I'm going to put a stop to price gauging. I'm sitting there saying, listen, I run one of the biggest real estate companies in the world. Like, what the hell is price gauging? Like, I've heard of price gouging before, but I've never heard of price gauging. Like, you know,
Oh, it's
listen, guys,
wonderful.
we've got a $32.5 trillion economy. It's going to go up a lot under Donald Trump because of the economy soaring. I mean, China's got a $22 trillion economy, and literally you could have had somebody potentially run that economy who couldn't say the word gouging. I mean, it's like unthinkable. I mean,
What do you think the country would look like if, so go ahead, Tom. When you were talking about 60 Minutes, I remember Leslie Stahl when DJT was appropriately trying to correct her. Donald, this is 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
And that was the statement
right.
that was exactly wrong. So they never apologized, right? They never apologized,
right there.
but they wrote a check. And this is what was stunning to me, that none of them have come back around with any sort of, they're never going to apologize, but they're not even slightly conciliatory. How is the administration, and you're an advisor to your dad, how are you managing the media now from the inside? We see the outside, but how are you managing it from the inside?
It's amazing. Like, you know, in the White House, in the press room, which is kind of a smaller room than you think, it looks actually bigger on TV. They always had assigned seating, so NBC was right up front, ABC was right up front, and they would, I mean, you try and get independent journalists in there, and they would lose their minds. They had this like little union. DJT totally rearranged this whole thing, right? I mean, it's now all of a sudden you've got Benny Johnson in there, you've got all these people, you've got, and by the way, those guys have bigger followers than, you know, than CNN. Like they have substantially more views. You have substantially more views than. You know, this thing will get substantially more views than CNN will on any given night, times probably 10. And so all of a sudden, he kind of broke up this little union in there. But that's what he was dealing with the entire time. That Leslie Stahl interview was absolutely insane, right? I mean,
And the condescension. Donald,
you got to play
this is 60
Yeah,
Minutes.
you play it, Rob.
Annoying.
You're right, Tom.
Do you have that, Rob? I mean, to speak as if like you're lecturing your son. Yeah, is this it, Rob?
I believe so.
Can we just see it? Just the way the.
Yeah, it is.
By the
Yeah,
way,
and by the way, and then when Joe Biden goes on, do you remember what they asked him? Do you remember
ice
the
cream.
question?
What's your favorite ice cream
What's
flavor?
your favorite flavor of ice cream? And by the way, he hardly got out an articulated answer. It was like the craziest thing ever. It's like, yeah.
He said chicken.
So here's
That's right. That's right. Chicken.
Favorite ice cream? Chicken.
By the way, this is the kind
Nobody's
of
ever taken
moments
ice cream
that
seriously.
your legacy is stuck by this, right? Leslie Stahl, who has been known, and now the legacy is going to be, well, you can't say something like that. He was right. So we're looking at this book right now. If you're watching this and you're loving the podcast, this will be at the end of every single one of the clips. We would like to see if we can do something. Okay, collect. Thank you so much. I would like you, if you're watching this, to go support Eric Trump. We're going to put the link below. Buy a copy, maybe buy 2, maybe buy 5 and gift it to somebody. It's number 30. Let's, in the next 24 hours, help this book become number 1 on all of Amazon. If you can buy 10, order 10. Let's send a statement. The book comes out October 14th. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.